We are in Singapore, and we have the pleasure to have with us Anita Chan. Anita is the CEO of Compass Edge, a Chinese-based,
Hong Kong,
Hong
China-based.
Kong-based marketing company.
Yes.
So thank you, first of all, for being with us.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
So we are here because of ITB Asia,
Yeah.
and you have delivered a presentation at the conference during ITB Asia
Yes.
about the Chinese market.
Yes.
So the whole world is looking towards China
Hope so.
for tourism, of course. China was very important market before COVID period, but was the last one that opened.
Exactly.
It took it 3 years to open for tourism, international tourism. So what is your observations? How China reacted after COVID?
Yeah. You know, that's one of the topic that I pick to
Yeah.
talk during ITB Asia is because there are a lot of data outside to talk about, you know, revenge travel after COVID, you know, how China's all coming back. And then people has high hope that the Chinese will come back, you know, even more than before. But then people are a little bit skeptical if they do not see the numbers or data, you know, like going out the way that they want to see. So there is some expectation management to be done, but data is data. So we have some positive data. In 2024, as I mentioned in my presentation at ITB, now about 77% of international passenger flight is back. So still not 100%.
Still not 100%.
Yeah,
Okay.
still not 100%. About 3/4 of international flight capacity is back. And that is way more than 2023. 2023 in the beginning is like 30%, slowly rising to 50%, but now this year is at about 78%, 77, 78%. So that's one piece of good data.
Okay.
Okay, that is on the flight capability.
How about the prices of the flights? Because yes, the flights are coming, but the flight tickets are more expensive, or?
Before it's a little bit more expensive, and that's the reason why people are not traveling that much.
Okay.
Okay, and also as we all know, there's no secret, but Chinese government is pushing for domestic travel. So the pricing for international travel at that time is a bit high. So people do not travel that much on international travel, but now pricing goes all down and it's, you know, back to the normal level.
Okay,
So
that's good.
yeah, that's
Good
good
news.
news. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So that was one number. What is
Yeah.
the second one?
Okay, so that's one number that prohibit the international tourism to come back, not as what people expected. The second one is the passport issuance. We all know, you know, after COVID, there's a lot of accumulative application, and you know, people say that's bottleneck, and then people cannot travel because they do not have the passport to travel.
Yeah.
Okay. Before COVID, about 10% of Chinese population got passport. Now it's about 12%. So you can actually see the increase from 10% to 12% already.
But this represents the number of people that they
Can travel.
afford to travel?
No,
Or they are much more, but they don't have the passports yet?
they are much more, but they don't have the passport yet.
Okay.
But you can also argue and say if they want to travel, why don't they get a passport?
Okay.
You know, but you know, right now it's from 10% to 12%.
So we see an increase.
Yeah, we see an increase. But what's more interesting on this piece of information is actually visa-free policy from other countries. Even during the boom that we know, you know, during 2019, 2018, you know, the China boom, there's only about 20 countries that provide visa-free to Chinese tourists. And suddenly in 2023 and 2024, it doubled. It's more than 40. And then just released in mid-October, there are more European countries offering visa-free policy. So now it's 40 plus country extending visa-free to Chinese tourists. Yeah.
So the 12% increase in passport holders, it means that we have seen an increase in Chinese actually that are traveling abroad.
Yeah.
So it's
that's a direct correlation because you know they apply for the passport because they want to travel overseas.
Okay.
So that's an increase from 10% to 12%. So which is another good
even
piece
with
of,
less flights.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's another piece of positive data
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Do we see any new destinations coming for Chinese after COVID?
Yeah, definitely. You know, that relates back to what we talked about visa-free policy.
Yeah.
Okay, before they only have 20.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the choices because they want to venture out, and now they got like double the choices.
Okay.
So now it's very typical when they go to Europe,
Mm-hmm.
they do multiple stop.
Okay.
So, you know, they find the visa-free countries, the European country, and they stop at different places to visit, you know, for a long haul trip. And there are some other destination that they would choose and pick to go to.
So it will be normal for some destinations to see a change in the number of Chinese they receive, because now Chinese, they have more options actually, yeah?
Yeah, so that's good news and bad news.
Yeah.
Okay, the good news is for the destination, there will be more destination that they will be seeing more Chinese. Okay, the bad news is whoever benefit from the boom of Chinese outbound before, that expect them to come back the same way, do not see them come back the same way.
Okay.
Because now the ranking of the top destination keep on changing and shifting.
How about the demographics of the Chinese travelers, their profile? Did they change after COVID?
I would not say it changed, but there is some shift. Okay. It ties back to the economic downturn that we all heard. Okay. The unemployment rate for youth is really high, and that is kind of a confirmed data from the China government. So if we used to target the Gen Z, they may not travel the same way, or they may not travel as much. But on the other hand, like the Golden Week holiday, we see demographics that the not senior, but the gray hair, yeah, kind of that.
Or like me, for example. Okay.
Kind of that population have huge increase in booking. Okay, and I just mentioned to you earlier on, they are cross generation, like grandfather couple and young kids. They all travel together as well. And then that become, you know, the family travel is one of the change, and the senior segment as well. That is after COVID.
How about the money they spend and the habits they have when they are traveling, what they are looking to?
Yeah, you know, you'll be surprised, as I say, you know, data is data. Even during the economic downturn that we all heard from the news, China still remained the number one spending market globally. Okay,
yes.
But I have to be fair because the percentage is not as high as before. So if you compare before, they actually have dropped quite a bit of the spending.
But they still keep the first position.
Number one.
All right.
Okay, so that's something, you know, to consider, that they are dropping, and that's data, but then they're still number one. Okay, and
no, before when they were traveling,
Yep.
what we know about Chinese travel is they like to go shopping.
Yeah.
Is still the same case now?
No. Actually, you'll be surprised because I have another piece of data that because Japanese yen is very low now.
Okay.
So a lot of people say, oh, you know, go to Japan to go do shopping. You know, not just the Chinese population, but everyone. Actually, even that, the Chinese do not spend that much, even in Japan. You know, that's not the major expenditure.
Okay.
You know, they spend on culture. You know, they like to go to museums, they like to go to relaxation, you know, and as I mentioned, if you deep dive into the different segment, even different age group have different purpose in traveling. So if I pick the one between 31 to 50 years old, their major focus is education. So they want to educate, bring the awareness to the kids and everything. Okay, so that's the activities that they will pick. For anyone below the 31 benchmark, they will be more adventure. Okay. And then for the different, you know, like the a little bit older, older batch, they will be spending on relaxation, more cultural activity. So that's how they spend the money. And again, you know, if you are a retail shop and you used to see the tour bus coming in with a lot of tourists, you know, shopping, whatever, probably that's bad news to you because you do not see them like before. But for other destination that you're attracting different market segment, you will see more Chinese everywhere. So that's the change, the shift.
Are we still going to see Chinese groups with the umbrella, with a guy with the umbrella walking on the streets? or they change the way they travel?
Yeah, I will not say you will never see them,
Okay.
but it's quite obvious when I talk to tour operators or destination operators, they do not see the big tour bus
Okay.
as much as before. So if you're expecting, the tour guide with the flag and then a lot of Chinese following, you will not see that as much.
So they start traveling
They
as
start
independent
traveling
travelers.
independent or customized.
Okay.
Customized, maybe they travel in a small group. So they have like 10 friends or 8 friends, and then they work with the travel agent on their customized itinerary, and they will go according to what they want to do. Okay, so they will be in a small, maybe minibus or whatever. That is considered as customized travel, but that will not be the big mass market tour bus segment that you used to see before. But a lot of independent travel, over 50%.
So that means that they are more experienced in traveling. So they don't need the Chinese guide them everywhere now. They can travel by themselves. That means that also they travel to new destinations in the same countries probably.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Okay.
With technology, now you can talk to the phone and you can translate and you can be
Yeah.
anywhere. Okay.
Okay.
And they can do a lot of research and a lot of things using their phone already. So again, on one of the slides that I did during the presentation, one of the major shift is they will hop from one place to another, even for the same destination. So before, if they travel to Bali, for example, they will stay at Seminyak for 4 nights or 5 nights, and then they will still go out to different places. But now the itinerary may be 1 night in Seminyak, and then already move to Ubud, and then even move north to the volcano area, move to coffee plantation, and go to the beach in Lombok, and then coming back that way. So they are not going to stick in one place, but venturing out because they are more adventurous and want to do more on their own.
In the past, we were saying that if you want to attract Chinese, you must be able to provide everything in Chinese language, number one. So I wanted to ask you, so are they more familiar now with the international travel and with the English language probably, or they still expect to find everything in their own language? That's the first part. The second part is that I know that in China, digital payments are well developed. Probably very seldom they use money nowadays.
Yeah, no cash. Yeah.
But what about when they are traveling? The destinations they are going, they cannot provide the same experience probably. Is it a problem?
Yeah, some
The
can.
destinations they have to adapt on this?
Yeah, some can. Let me answer your first question first. Okay. Of course, convenient, is one of the key things. So, for example, when I mentioned, you can talk to the driver using the phone technology, whatever, that's okay, but that's inconvenient. Okay, so whoever that can prepare more Chinese collateral, or have a lot of content on their own China platform. For example, restaurant on Meituan Dianping. That's how they find restaurant. And then for hotels, maybe on Xiaohongshu, Little Red Book. And for something exciting, adventure, maybe on Douyin, which is the TikTok version of China on shorts and reels. So if you are on those proper channel, you are much easier to reach the Chinese audience. But when you come to, if I need to, the taxi driver cannot speak Chinese, I need to communicate, then the technology can help. But that is not their first choice. So I always say, whoever more prepared in doing something convenient to them will
get more market share.
Exactly, we'll get more market share. So that's your first question. And then the second question is on payment. I think especially in Southeast Asia, a lot of companies, a lot of destination operator already got Alipay, got WeChat Pay. A lot of hotels, they all very prepared and ready for that.
You mean in Europe and other parts of the world?
Yeah, Union Pay. Actually, Union Pay is quite easy, quite commonly that I saw in European shopping mall, even in Paris, everywhere. So I think the company who are very serious into attracting the Chinese tourists, they are all very prepared with the payment. So I think that's a very important part of the whole chain, because they do not really bring a lot of cash.
And what is the preferable payment platforms for Chinese? You mentioned the Union Pay.
Yeah, Union Pay is a credit card, Alipay, WeChat Pay.
Okay.
So basically, those are the
Those
three
three.
main ones. Yeah.
And the next question I will connect
Yeah.
it with the first reply that you gave me
Yeah.
now. If, I mean, you are an expert in digital, in Chinese market.
Yep.
And in digital marketing
Yep.
in Chinese market. So if we would like to attract the Chinese market, to find a Chinese traveler, what should we do?
Okay, that's a 30-minute question.
We have plenty of time.
Actually, my company has done a Chinese traveler's journey, like
Okay.
independent traveler's journey.
Okay.
So actually, from inspiration, how to inspire Chinese to find the destination, and then to the planning, to kind of the validation, and then the booking, and then the sharing. They all pass through different touch points. So if you're really serious into attracting Chinese, you have to touch them at all the touch points, right? And then we also break it down into novice, frequent traveler, and well-off traveler, because each different segment has different emphasis
Okay.
into the different touch points. So there are different platforms, what they are better at in different stage, what people should focus on. And I will give you one interesting example, nothing to do with the platform, but what we find is frequent traveler, they tend to book on OTA.
Okay.
Okay, and the reason is because they travel very often, they do not always travel by one airline or stay at one hotel chain. So they can accumulate all their points within the OTA that will
Okay,
benefit
okay.
them the most.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
makes sense, right?
Okay, yes, yes.
Yeah, so they will go to the OTA to book instead of signing up each individual airlines or each hotel program. They will go to the OTA to book. Whereas for well-off, high net worth travelers, now the good news is they tend to book direct because they want to get more information.
Okay.
They want to build a relationship with the company, either the hotel or the operator, so they get more benefit during the trip.
So they can select the destinations they want to visit or the hotels they want to stay through the Chinese social media
Social
channels?
media, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, through all the different media channels, and then they can zoom in different segments, will zoom in to different stages differently.
So if you are an NTO or if you are a hospitality company, actually there are two ways. One, if you want to influence the traveler directly, so you go through the social media channels.
Yep.
Or if you want to influence, let's say, the business-to-business market, then it's only the OTAs, or there are also traditional travel agents.
Of course.
Or what is the mix there?
Of course. Actually, for China, it's very interesting that you asked the question. Actually, offline agencies are also working with OTAs and putting the rates and everything online.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay.
So
there's a combination.
It's
right.
very, complex in that
Okay.
way. But yeah, definitely travel agent, offline agent, OTA, and the direct. Like if you want to reach them directly on the social media, all the ways to reach out to Chinese.
How about the travel trade fairs? Are they a good platform for NTOs and travel companies to approach the industry?
I think for, exposure is always good.
Yeah.
Okay, exposure is always good. It depends on if you want to go for the mass market or you want to go to a niche market. Okay, so I always say Chinese are a little bit skeptical in what they see online. So if you appear in the trade fair, they know you're real, and that is the credibility and trust they have in you. So that's more the value of the trade fair.
So to close this discussion,
Yep.
what would be your suggestion to an NTO, a National Tourism Authority, or a destination that would like to attract the Chinese market?
Yeah, definitely social first. Okay. As you just mentioned, my expertise is in digital marketing, and definitely social media marketing is one of the key area. And there were now all the new forms, we just discussed it earlier on, the AI generated content and all the AI based itinerary and all those kind of things. So have to embrace those and have to use that on the different social media for different ways to attract the Chinese. And then from online, O to O, from online to offline, offline to online, have a great relationship, even with OTAs and with travel agency offlines, and to build that complicated model together in order to reach them the way that you want to.
I was trying to close the discussion, but you make me to have another question, because you mentioned the AI.
Yeah.
AI is what we know in the West, or again, they have a different thing there?
From a technology sense, it's the same,
Yeah.
artificial intelligence, machine
Sure.
learning, but China banned the Western AI.
Okay.
So like ChatGPT and all those cannot be used in China, not even in Hong Kong. And like the social media, China has its own ecosystem. For AI, they have their own ecosystem. So if you look at Baidu, which people know as a search engine before, now people know it as an AI company.
All right.
Yeah, so it's the generative AI that is their core business now. So they have different kind of AI in China that is only in China, and that's the way they work. I'm pretty sure they're pretty similar, from a technology sense, but it's a different ecosystem. Like, Facebook is kind of like Weibo in China, but similar, but not the same. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
interesting
you.
information.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very much.